Welcome to the Good Rookie Show. My name is Faheem.
And my name is Nelly J, y'all, and we are good
That's
looking.
right.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Good Tuesday. And guess what? It is the Good Rookie Show.
Yep.
What's going on? So,
Mm,
guys, as you know, we bring the hottest topics in sports and in the culture. And for a lot of our NFL fans, preseason has begun. So enjoy. Reports came out today, Fahim, that Tom Brady is taking time off. He's not doing any preseason, but should be back for week 1 of the NFL playoffs. Are you surprised by this?
so I didn't hear this. Tom Brady's going to miss week one of
Sorry.
the NFL.
So, sorry, my bad.
No.
Tom Brady is not
Right.
going to be participating in the preseason, but
Okay.
should be back for week 1 of the regular season.
Oh, got you. Okay.
So, your thoughts on him taking some personal time, some personal leave, to be with the family, or
I have.
personal, or do with personal matters, as it says. Yeah,
He's 40 plus, right?
yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, it's a long season ahead. So, I mean, if it's on that, take all the time you need. I don't. I can't see anybody having a problem with Tom Brady taking the preseason off. He's done enough time. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I
Oh, okay,
mean,
cool.
I mean, what do you expect, guys? He's 40 plus. I mean, if I was
Yeah.
talking after winning, I don't know, 7 rings.
Hmm.
I mean, you don't really need to be playing preseason. I think you've proven enough.
Yeah.
I think I think he can take some time off. But yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, taking the time off, I think is a great move. You know, football is a very aggressive, vigorous sport.
Yep.
And yeah, like he doesn't have to be there for the first couple, what, a first couple, a week and a half from the preseason. Come back end of August, read the plays, watch this tape, and then do your thing. You're Tom
Hmm.
Brady. And this,
Hmm.
this is going to be his last tour. I don't think, like, question for you, right? Before we move to the next topic, do you think Tom Brady will be retiring this season? And do you think
Yes.
he can win another chip? Or you think it's just like a formality for him? What's your thoughts on him? I think probably his last season. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think retirement. Yeah, he's going to retire. Uh, I just don't see the motivation of him coming back. So let's say they win this year. Why would he come back next year? You know, and if they lose, he has nothing to prove. So why would he come back next year? I think if you're Tom Brady, this is his I guess his farewell tour in any stadium he goes in. You know, take all the photos in there that you want because you're not getting it next year.
Oh, yeah, I think so too. I think, like he deserves a last tour. And I'm
Hmm.
hoping he says it's his last season because I want him to have moments after each game, taking pictures. The last time you're going to see Tom Brady playing in your city. I just think that it could make it a really special season for him.
Hmm.
So yeah, I definitely think. And do you think he can win this year? The Bucks can win this year. What do you think?
As long as Tom Brady's taking snaps, yes, anything is possible. He's always in contention for sure.
Isn't that crazy how Tom Brady is that good that if he's playing, he's a
Hmm.
contender.
Of
That is
course.
wild.
Hmm.
Goat things, man. Goat things.
So it's funny that you did mention Tom Brady, and I didn't even know you're bringing that. So, um, Venus has just recently announced that she's going to retire after the U.S. Open.
Hold up,
Uh,
Venus or Serena? Which
my
Venus are you talking
bad.
about?
You're right. My
I
bad.
was like,
You're
Venus?
right. Vince.
I'm like, Venus? Okay, cool.
You're
Good for you,
right.
Venus.
My bad. Serena, um, one of the goats of tennis, is going to retire after the U.S. Open. Uh, Tom Brady, him coming back next year, part of the thing would be, like I said, what's his motivation for coming back? Um, kind of feel that's where I was just about to say Venus. Serena, once again, is at in her career right now. Um, Thoughts on Serena's retiring from the U.S. Open
I,
after the U.S. Open?
I mean, first of all, she lost yesterday
Mm-hmm.
in Canada. The
Right.
last time she'll be playing in Canada
Mm-hmm.
ever.
Mm-hmm.
So she did lose to um like it's interesting to me, right? Because I think me, like when it comes to greatest athlete, not just of a sport, but greatest athlete of all time, she's on my Mount Rushmore, um, on there, right? Not because she's a woman or whatever, just because of her dominance for so long. My girl is 40 years old, Fahim. 40, right? And so her dominance from when she was a child, like we all watched, King Richard, see her journey. She was never the deemed as the one. It was Venus, right? And then she just fought her way and beat her sister. And we've seen those epic matches that they've had in the finals and so forth. But just her journey, just everything she's been through from pregnancy to marriage, like I truly admire her as a woman of color, but actually as an athlete altogether. So her coming to an end, I'm kind of like, I don't believe it yet because I can't picture a world with Serena not playing tennis. I'm sure it's gonna hit me at the US Open, which she said will be her last Grand Slam. Maybe then I'll be crying, but my gosh, like I watch all of Serena's matches. Like I just love watching her play, and she's forever going to be one of the greatest athletes, not just tennis player, greatest athlete to ever walk this earth. So
Hmm.
even though I know she wanted to win another Grand Slam, 23 isn't so shabby, Serena. You're still tied for the top. But I just think it's so great that, her dominance, what she did, her advocacy for equal pay or even more pay for women athletes in her sport. She's been doing it all for me. And even
Hmm.
the stuff where she had to go through, because, some athletes are emotional and some are not. And we talk about this. Male athletes are it's okay if they're emotional and aggressive and all that. But when it's a woman, especially in tennis, which, tennis typically you see more of the feminine athlete, I would say sometimes in a feminine, mean like, quote unquote, what they call feminine. I think Serena, bust that open, right? She was wearing like her fashion, what she was wearing to her matches. You know what I'm saying? Her fashion on the court, her braids, like she made a lot of things swaggy on the tennis court that was never done before. So just even that and her emotion towards the game, her cussing out the umpire, her cussing up, like she was just herself, authentically raw, love it or hate it at all the time. And I think that's great because some athletes they conform to what they deem as normal or good behavior for female athletes. And I think Serena was like, nah, I'm gonna be myself. Black Queen, Magic, all of that. So it sucks because I want her to win another Grand Slam, and who knows, maybe the gods will, maybe she'll come aligned and maybe she'll win the Grand Slam in U.S. Open. I think how we talk about retirement moments. Kobe 50, that was a great moment. But imagine if Serena wins the U.S. Open, like her last match. You know what I'm saying? Like her last tournament, her last Grand
Hmm.
Slam. So if she does that, wow, that'll be the greatest retirement exit I've seen.
Hmm.
But I've talked enough. What's your thoughts on her announcement? Your thoughts on her journey to now?
So first of all, I echo everything you mentioned about Serena, with the love of the career, everything, 100%. Uh, you did mention about U.S. Open and how great it would be for her to win, and I echo that also. That would be great. Um, but the last time she's won a Grand Slam was 2017, so that's
Mm-hmm.
5 years ago. And see with Tom Brady, we just mentioned Tom Brady. Tom Brady keeps coming back, but when Tom Brady in his older age, at the end of his career, Tom Brady is still seen as a contender, right? With Serena, I just there's
Question for you,
motivation.
Fahim.
Go
Guess how
ahead.
much guess how much finals she's made it to since then. So remember she got pregnant in 28. So 2017 was when she was pregnant,
Right.
had the baby in 2018. When she came back
18,
in 2019.
2019, right?
So even though it's 5 years, she wasn't
Mhm.
really playing for 5 years. So let's say
Mhm.
the last 3 years, and maybe remember last year she got injured. So she pretty much was playing two and a half, maybe two, actually 2 years she played because she got injured. She got these weird injuries, like these like
Yeah,
random.
I'm
So,
with you.
but in those 2 years, guess how much finals she's made it, like to the actual last match?
Of a Grand Slam,
Yeah, of a
or
Grand Slam.
uh, okay, it's definitely I know against Bianca, Andreescu would have been one. Um, So I'm gonna go with two. She's had two,
Five.
five since
She made
then.
it five since then. So
Five Grand Slam finals.
yeah, since
Yes.
then. So
Okay.
that's
See.
so but
So,
again, like it's
mm,
not I mean to your point, she doesn't want it, but
right.
she lost to like Osaka, like the big, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the
Hmm.
day, like to your point, yes, she's not a contender, but I still think Serena, even at this age, like you never know because
Yeah.
like if she gets a good rhythm and
Hmm.
gets into a good swing, like she can go far. But sometimes, especially in tennis, sometimes it's not your day. So
No, and actually, to your point, that's a very good counter that you make because I had no idea that's five to be in five finals in 2 years for Grand Slams.
well, 2 years,
This
I guess two she played, but it's like 3 years since.
right,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
these five finals are post delivering a child. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So definitely, actually, that does make me walk back a little bit on what I
Hmm.
had said. You're right. That actually can actually speak to her legacy when she's retired. To
Yes,
think that. So, good, very good point.
yeah.
Um, yeah, the game she would definitely be missed. There are it's going to be harder for her. Actually, so I was just going to ask about Venus because I did mention Venus at the start. Um, Venus is still around, and that's her older sister, right?
So, but Venus isn't playing. They do doubles. I think
Right.
she's
They do.
retiring. So I think her retirement is from the singles competition.
Oh, so
Right,
she's still going to
right.
play doubles.
Yeah,
Okay.
so her Venus does doubles with her, and I don't think
Hmm.
and they do really well in that. So
Hmm.
and that's like a sister thing.
Right.
So I don't know that's why I said that her retirement. I think it's from her competing in the individual singles tournaments versus
I
her
thought she's
playing
retiring
doubles.
completely from tennis.
Well, that's.
Good.
I mean, again, I could be wrong.
Hmm.
I'm just not sure yet because Venus
Hmm.
retired, but she still plays doubles with Serena.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Or
Hmm.
doubles, or I've seen them play doubles, so I'm not sure. But yes,
Okay.
but to
All right.
me, I know she announced it, but we've seen rappers announce retirement, come back with albums. We've seen athletes
Right.
retire. I can name quite a few athletes retire, come
Hmm.
back and
Right.
play another year. So get
Yeah.
to retirement, but I
But the
do
only,
think
if,
I do think we will never see her in a singles competition,
right.
but the doubles isn't as hard for her because it
Gotcha.
is playing more half court with another person and that's a bit different. So that's why I say like I could see her competing in a doubles
Mhm.
tournament, but not in a singles. I think that's for sure done. But hey, what do
But
I know? I'm guessing. I'm guessing
well,
here.
yeah, we're just both guesstimating on here.
Yeah.
But I do think that what you mentioned about people in retiring, you're true. That's a very good point. People do retire and come back, but when someone's on their last legs of their career, I've never seen someone retire at the end of their career and decide, hey, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have hung up those my racket and come back, or maybe I shouldn't hung up the mic. Like usually the
Yeah.
retirement's in a time when there's a demand from the comeback. And if we're being real, like I think Serena should just enjoy her retirement and
Hmm.
actually leverage it because remember she's in business also, right?
Agreed.
So I think shout out to her career first of all, inspiring. Coco Gauff is the next one. If
Ooh.
people aren't familiar with her, she's a young one also coming up, who's definitely inspiring young black players also. Um, Layla
Yes.
Fernandez, like, come on, she's
She's
another Canadian
so.
also that's
Hmm.
also inspiring. So, tennis is in very good hands, and it does seem to be a young person's sport for
Yes.
the most part. You think players are hitting their groove by the time they're in their teens. So just the fact that she is, like you mentioned, 40. Shout out to
Hey,
Serena.
hey,
Most
Fee, I have a curveball because listen, the
mm.
old people them in my area, they're all playing tennis outside. What if they were to create, like, you know how they have, I'm putting it
Yeah,
out there, you know how they have the old man boxing matches, like
right,
old man competition. You
right,
never know. I think there's
right.
still money in, I won't call them old because
Yeah,
40 isn't old, guys,
yeah,
but more seasoned tennis players, the
yeah.
guys who
Like
can compete with young. I mean, why not? Because there's still a
golf
lot of big,
has it. Golf
there's
has that, right?
yeah, like there's so many
Hmm.
big names in tennis that can
Hmm.
still play, but because they're not young anymore, to your point, they have the young legs, they can't compete. But I just think there's value in like I would love to watch the throwback tennis players from, I could probably not Steffi Golf, but players back in the day, like come back and play in a little tournament or celebrity match where we can all come and just watch like Serena
Hmm.
play Venus. Like I would pay to see that shit. Even though
Hmm.
it's not for anything, I would love to just watch Serena play against Venus. I'll pay for that.
Hmm.
I would
Hmm.
love to watch it. So maybe not just like a competition like the ATP tour, but something where we can still watch celebrities or watch our past greats of tennis players play.
Hmm.
And I'm putting it out there, Serena. The idea, catch it, run with it. But I think we are going to see something like that in the future because I think we already saw that. I forgot her name, but she retired already. Is it Barty?
Yeah, Ashley Barty from
Ashley
Australia,
Barty
right?
retired. So it's for people like that who retire, but they want to play tennis for fun. There should be a league where they can come play, raise money for charity, and still be able to have, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just putting it
Hmm.
out there, y'all.
Hmm.
What do I know? But I'm hoping I see Serena in a tennis court doing something for whether it's training, coaching, or even inspiring, which she's done. But I just think that there's still money in the celebrity matches. We see it in boxing.
Hmm.
Why not in tennis? So
Yeah.
I'm, I used to have seen in golfing too.
Hmm. Most
So
definitely.
yeah, yeah.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. So, um, you know what? Let's go to for the culture, Nelly J.
For the culture, we like to highlight individuals for the culture. And today we get to highlight a former professional NBA player. Okay. First of all, Faheem, I did not know this man had this last name. So Metta Sandiford-Artest. Sandiford, just so you guys know, that's a common name in Barbados. So I don't know if he has a Barbadian relative. I got to do my research. But anyways,
Okay. Well,
Metta,
hold
yeah,
on. Did you said Meta? Oh,
Sandiford
wow.
Artest. Sandiford Artest. But
Okay.
that's his like name, but he's known as Metta World Peace.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
I didn't. The Sandiford test, I did not know. I didn't
Me
know he dropped the world peace.
too.
What happened to world peace,
No,
man?
no, like he's known as World Peace. That's his name, Metta
Okay.
World Peace. But I'm just saying,
Uh,
like he was known formally in basketball as Metta Sandiford or Artest. But I'm saying the
okay. No.
Sandiford portion
Hmm.
of like his last name, that part I wasn't aware of because that's a common name in the Caribbean.
Okay, so I'm with you there, but so anything that associated with our test for me has always been Ron. He's always been Ron our test, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the meta didn't come into play until he went from meta world peace, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now I guess he's merging the meta
Sandiford
and
Artest.
then you said
Yeah.
Sandiford, which I didn't know, and then
Yeah.
yeah, test. So he's
And
met.
again,
Okay.
this is as per Bloomberg. So if y'all confused,
Mm,
call
no,
them. You know what I'm
no,
saying?
no, I believe you. I
I
believe you.
know. Yeah. No, I'm referencing it. So people don't think I'm just like whatever. So
All right, all
as
right.
per Bloomberg, so what's happening? A person leaked that he's planning an investment fund
Mm-hmm,
for his Artest Management Group, and
mm-hmm,
according to someone familiar with the matter, they're focusing on, I guess, targeting a billion. That's the target. It could go up, it could be less, but that's the target. They're focusing on the U.S. and Asia areas, and the new fund will invest in sports, real estate, professional teams, as well as startups across health, sports, blockchain technology, and real estate. The fund could also be used to acquire businesses and make a large investment. Especially, their target is on on the Las Vegas professional basketball arena, which I guess that's no works. So this is,
mm-hmm.
guys, as per Bloomberg. Big up Bloomberg. What's your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts, Raheem, on this? And that's why he's for the culture. Go ahead.
Oh, most definitely. So, having Meta Sandiford Artest. This is kind of odd. I'm I'm usually used to saying either Ron Artest or Meta World Peace, but um, yeah, having someone like him, first of all, it's a great story to see where he's come from to where he's at now, where he's in these circles. Usually, someone who maybe has uh, done what he's done in his past, the Malice in the Palace. He's come out of that to see that now he's using his somewhat celebrity because I would have to say he's a celebrity. He's played in LA. He has a name, right?
Mm-hmm.
To see that he's using that name and using it for the culture, getting involved in sports, real estate, health, startups, things like that. I'll be honest, he would not be my first choice to think that this is something he's going down. But it's nice to
Yeah.
see that there are others that are out there making this cool to happen. You know, um,
Mm-hmm.
now he doesn't have $1 billion. I'm not in his pockets, but I'm going to assume he's not a billionaire. But it's nothing for him to use his celebrity to get in circles with people to pool together to reach that goal, whether it be what they're talking about. You mentioned in Vegas, things like that. To have someone like Ron Artest, who's I'm pretty sure I feel confident to say he's from Queensbridge, New York. Like he's from the hood. So to see stories like this, from where he's come from to where he's at now and what he plans on doing. Huge. So shout out to Metta Sandiford
Sandiford Artest.
Artest. Yes.
Yes, and listen, you must have some Bayesian or something. I gotta look it up because every time I see Sandiford, I'll think about Barbados because I actually my ancestor is a Sandiford. That's why I'm curious. Imagine
Mm,
like we have a common relative or something. You know what I'm saying? I would
mm,
cry. But
mm,
yeah, I mean, this man from the project
mm-hmm,
to now helping raise or going to raise a $1 billion fund. Yeah, it's just inspiring. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Inspiring. And it's interesting, like he's been through a lot. He's witnessed a fellow player get murdered. Like he's been through a lot, man. Like he's been through
mm-hmm,
a lot. So NBA champion, now an investor, love to see it. And people forget that he's won defensive player of the year. He's been on defensive player. Like his accolades are really ridiculous. So not only has he been competitive on the court, we can't be surprised that Artest is doing something like this now. Sorry, Meta is doing this as well after basketball, right?
mm-hmm.
He's someone that I think will always try to be the best in whatever puts his mind or focus on. So I big up to his brother who I've met in Clubhouse. He's also dope. So big up to
Oh,
you.
really? Okay.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
he's got,
yeah.
I think also his son plays basketball also, if I'm not mistaken. I think his son played in the National Basketball League of Canada.
Yes, 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 yes.
I think it was Ron Artest the third.
Okay.
Yes, Ron
Look at
Artest the
that.
third.
Keeping in the family. Love to see
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah, Ron Artest third. He played for the KW Titans of the National Basketball League of Canada. So shout out, yeah, Ron Artest. It's great to see people in their post career actually making investing cool, making community and initiatives cool. Um,
Yeah, it's dope.
mhm.
It's dope.
Most
It's dope.
definitely, most definitely. Nelly J, before we close out on Ron Artest, I'm gonna,
You mean Meta? Meta?
my bad. See,
Yeah,
no,
yo,
no.
y'all, he's being like me today, y'all. Because y'all know I'm the one that always forgets the names. Met this man called Serena Venus. He's called Meta Ron. Lot of mercy. Lot of mercy. Okay, Faheem.
All
What's
right.
up? What's up?
Um, Venture capital in the Black community.
Oh,
What what do you think the number is for venture capital in the Black
what do you
community?
mean venture capital? Like how many
Okay,
groups? How many
so
funds?
so I'm gonna go. What
Access
percentage
or
of venture capitalists are
oh,
Black in the United States?
I'll say like 2% to 5%.
Oh, you got it. You got it.
Yeah.
Approximately, let's see. So in 2020, there's funneled about 150 billion to
Uh-huh.
startups, but only approximately 1% are
Yeah.
distributed to Black founders.
Yep.
You
That's
know?
that's on brand in a white
Mm.
supremacy society. Oh
Oh,
no.
oh
Oh
no, oh
no. Oh
no.
no. Did she say that? Yes, I said it. I said it. So hopefully that will increase. So we need more Black venture capitalists. But again, you need capital.
Right,
But
right.
you need capital to do that stuff. So that's why the Black community, we gotta create capital.
100%.
And then I
And
think
it's about leverage also.
yes.
Because let's be real, if he wasn't Meta Sandiford Artest, he's not going to get in those circles for people to even know who he is.
Yep.
So it's about leverage, right? Um,
Absolutely.
and others in his fund are there's a co-founder of Boost Mobile,
Mm-hmm.
um, venture capital company also, and
Yeah.
two different venture capital companies. So
Yeah. But
shout
the
out
key
to
with
Ron
those
Artest.
companies is that if they're going to invest, they got to see a portfolio and what you're planning to
Mm-hmm.
guarantee the ROI. And so what he's focusing on in terms of sports, real estate, those are all great avenues to get great ROI in it. So they're on the
Mm-hmm.
right path for sure, for sure, for sure.
Most
And
definitely.
technology, blockchain technology, all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
totally on the right path for sure.
No doubt, no doubt. So, Nelly J, let's close this out with That's
That's
Absurd.
absurd, Fahim, bro. What was absurd this week? What was absurd?
So, Joseph C., and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name right, is TSEI, the owner of the Brooklyn Nets. He was actually given an ultimatum by Kevin Durant. Apparently, not, let me throw allegedly on here because there's a lot
Yeah,
of
it
things.
wasn't ultimate.
Yeah.
I don't call it well, you know what? You go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, let me
Yeah.
just close it, call it absurd, and then we can kind of dissect a little bit
Yeah.
more. All right. So,
Yeah.
just the fact that and this is not even to a shot at KD at all, because actually I'm pro KD and his movements. But I think what I'm calling absurd is the fact that in the offseason, KD's name has been very popular around the offseason. Just the fact that it would seem that if KD has a problem with playing in Brooklyn and calling out Steve Nash, his coach, and which you're not calling an ultimatum. And I might, even after we land this, agree with you that it's not an ultimatum, but just this whole saga of the triangle of the owner, KD, and Steve Nash in the offseason of not making this work. I'm going to go with, I'll land with absurd.
Absurd. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Not just Steve Nash. He also wanted Sharp Marks out as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
so
didn't
it was
know.
not Steve Nash. So he said it's either me or Sean Marks and Steve Nash.
Oh.
So he wants a 2-for-1 combo. That's why I thought it was absurd because,
Mm,
again, there's a way to go about these things for him. At the end of the day, you requesting a trade, Katie, there's no problem in that. It's okay. A lot of players request for trades. That's not my issue. My issue is that you're kind of saying, or hey, I want to go, then request a trade. But now you're like, actually, whoop, maybe I don't want to go. And if I don't go, if I do stay, then you got to get rid of Steve Nash and Sean Marks. That's my issue. It's like this is a situation you have in Brooklyn. You either want to take it or go, right? He's saying, I want to go, but actually, I don't because
mhm,
if Steve Nash, so everyone was saying, oh, it's because of Ben Simmons. Oh, it's because of Kyrie. I don't think so because if it was either player, he would have said, he would have fully said, instead of him saying Sean Marks or Steve Nash, he would have said Ben Simmons or Kyrie. Like he
mhm,
clearly he's okay with playing with these guys because he's saying pretty much now. At first he said, I don't want to be here for him at all. Now he's saying, actually, I don't mind being here, but if I stay, those two gotta go. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is that there's two. It's just like it's a lot, and I think what Kevin Durant should have done is sit down and understand business. Because if he was like, "Yo, KD, I want to be traded, but I just got swept in the finals. I didn't really play. I played well, but I haven't done much in Brooklyn. Will teams actually really want me? I know I'm one of the top players, but are teams really going to want me at this point now? Because we all know trading is timing for him. It's timing, right? So I just think KD should just stay for one more year and then ask for a trade. Like KD, play one more year, have the best season. You go off, kill the numbers. Ben is there now. Like go off and then say, yo, now y'all see what I'm working with at my big old age. Now you're gonna want me, right?
mhm,
I just think that he's done it in a wrong way. Even like with Harden, we all see how Harden did it with Brooklyn, whatever. But at least Harden and Ben Simmons, I think timing was on their side because they both wanted to get out, and luckily both GMs wanted each other's players. But I just think for KD, like there's no other great player out there that wants to be traded and wants to go on Brooklyn. It just has to work. It has to be in tandem. So what's absurd to me is the fact that Katie first said no, I don't want to be here. Now he's circling back on this hashtag shout out to Tandia and saying actually I don't mind staying, but if I stay, those two have to go. That's what my issue is.
So, okay. So, Katie, you're right. And originally said, hey, you know what? I don't want to be here. Apparently, it's like a few weeks. And I'm going to assume, because I wasn't there in the boardroom, but I'm assuming that Brooklyn made attempts to move Katie.
Yes.
If they were unsuccessful in moving KD, I'm putting myself in KD's shoes. So I've said to management, I want to go. They tried to accommodate me and weren't able to accommodate me. If I realize, okay, well, you know what, they've tried to move me. If I'm going to stay, I want to stay under my terms, right? And I guess his terms would be, as you mentioned, because I didn't know about the Sean Marks part, which would actually that makes sense though. Him saying, you know what, I don't want Steve Nash and I don't want Sean Marks. I think he's well within. I think it's in play because if he has to stay, why not put in a situation? I think Katie's at a point in his career right now where he can get that quote unquote LeBron James status. You know, like LeBron can make these moves. I think KD is in a position where he should be able to say to a management, you know what, I'd like this to happen, and they should accommodate him likewise. I think a lot of teams would want KD actually. Go ahead, LJ.
Yeah, so I don't think he's on LeBron's power level. I'm sorry. I don't. I think
Really?
there's only one
Who
LeBron.
is? Who? Okay, that's fine.
I
But
think
who?
LeBron, I think
I,
maybe Steph
I,
Curry. There's maybe like three. I mean, I think there's probably two players that have that power. Like the
mm,
front office don't got to do nothing you say. And we've seen
it.
it before, right? It's in their best interest to work with you, but they don't have to. And just so you know, Fahim, I don't know if you saw this, but after Katie put out like the comment came out based on what Sharm tweeted out, the owner tweeted out and said he is backing Sean Marks and Coach.
Well, actually, technically, I think he did see the tweet. He said, He's going to make moves that's in the
No, he pretty much said, if you read
best
it, he
interest
pretty
of the
much
organization, right?
no.
No.
He said I'm backing up my front office. My front office, I am backing them up. That's what he said. Like,
Okay.
look at the tweet again.
Uh,
In layman's terms, he just said pretty much, I am behind my front office and what they decide to do. So
mhm,
at the end of the day, Katie's telling him to change up the front office. He's saying, I'm behind my front office.
mhm,
That's what he said, right? That's what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, if listen, the owner and Sean Marks are close. We saw this. We know it
mhm.
because Sean Marks, what he's able to do there, it's been great. And he brought the owner three superstars or three stars, arguably, to his franchise, right? And that's not easy to do. A lot of franchises cannot bring three stars over to their franchise. So Sean Marks have done some historical things for the Brooklyn Nets. However, the owner is good. The owner is behind his guys, and which is Steve Nash and the GM. So essentially, what Kevin Durant's going to have to do is keep requesting for a trade because he didn't say he wasn't going to play. He said I'll request for a trade or ask for one until these two guys are gone, which is okay. That means that you're going to be here, and it's not like he can claim a mental illness clause like what Ben Simmons did because he's not injured, he's healthy. So at the end of the day, if he wants to not come to practice and lose money, that's up to him. Hey, do what you got to do, bro. Not a problem. But my thing is that at the end of the day, like the owner is backing up his front office because he hired them. He
All
hired them.
right. So here's a direct tweet. It says, quote, our front office and coaching staff have my support. We will make decisions in the best interest of the Brooklyn Nets, end quote.
Yep.
So um,
That's exactly what I just said. You
mhm.
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
well, it's part about I think what we both said. You're right. He said
Yeah,
about our front,
yeah,
but
like
then
he's backing up. Yeah, all I'm saying is that he's backing up his guys. The coaching
mhm,
staff and front office, that's who he's backing up, right?
mhm,
Listen, owners don't have to listen. When has the owner listened to a player? Come on, these guys
mhm,
are billionaires. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? Like,
mhm,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, they're going to respect you. They're going to respect your request. But Jeannie Buss and LeBron, that's unique. That's not a
mhm,
common thing for him. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? So Kevin Durant needs to
You
understand.
you did mention Steph when you gave people
Yeah,
who
so
what you
so
go ahead.
I do think Steph because Steph apparently has had a lot to say with the organization, or
Mhm,
because I know someone that kind of has worked with people within it, and
mhm.
Steph does has a lot to say. He talks like there's connection with him and the owners and the coaching, so they respect what he wants. But again, Steph doesn't move like Kevin Durant. Steph could, but he doesn't. But I do know Steph wants to keep. I heard that Steph wants obviously Draymond and Clay to stay. And if they don't, I think they could potentially lose him. But hey, that's a Warriors. That's a topic for a different day. But my thing is that I just think people not. I don't think there's any LeBron-esque players that have that power. I think LeBron is a very unique case. He carried the league on his back for a very long time, and he is the face of the league. So I think saying Kevin Durant's like LeBron, I don't think so. I think Kevin Durant is talented, highly skilled. He's a champion, but I don't think he has as much influence on the NBA or the league that LeBron does. I don't think it's there yet. That's
So
just me.
that I agree with, but we're talking in particular with the Brooklyn Nets, and the
Yeah,
Brooklyn Nets have
guess
never
what?
seen Brooklyn Nets have never seen that
But
kind of qual.
Fahim,
Go
I
ahead.
get that, but what's Kevin Durant done for Brooklyn Nets? He's done nothing for them. Like LeBron has brought champion a ring to Lakers. He's brought rings to Cleveland. Now, granted, Fahim, if Kevin Durant won a championship, I would agree with you. But you know what, Fahim, you're right. Kevin Durant brought them a championship. Now they owe him. I agree. He
Mhm,
hasn't done that yet. So I
mhm.
can't equate Kevin Durant and Brooklyn to LeBron and Lakers. Two different situations.
All right.
That's just
So
my opinion. Yeah.
Okay, so in Brooklyn now, you're right. They have won a championship and they've actually underperformed. Um, but we talk about people at the end of their career. We mentioned Brady, we mentioned Serena. He's not in those conversations. He's still got some good years ahead of him.
Of
If
course.
you're Brooklyn, I don't see how you can afford to let Kevin Durant go. Anyhow, Kevin Durant leaves Brooklyn, you're not sniffing any type of championship. At least with Kevin Durant on the team, it keeps you in the conversation of maybe getting some pieces to build around.
Yeah, I agree, but our convo wasn't about that. Our convo was that you think LeBron James and the Lakers is similar to Kevin Durant's impact,
No, no,
and I don't.
but I did circle back with that.
Okay.
I was not making comparison with LeBron
Oh,
James.
okay, okay.
That
Because
was
no, because you said, oh well, LeBron can do it. Why can't Kevin Durant? And I was like, no, Kevin Durant doesn't have that. But to your point, yes, like that's why Brooklyn wants to trade Kevin for pieces that will put them in a good position to be competitive, right?
mhm.
And that's the thing is like the trade that they're getting is not going to help their future. Because the other thing, if I'm Brooklyn, I want future picks and I want a star that can at least help me maintain a good brand, right? Because it's a product you're selling on the court. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to trade Kevin because he wants to be traded. I'm going to trade Kevin because I, as a Nets GM, I'm going to benefit as well. That's why I feel like guys, like for Sean Marks, are you going to trade to Kevin Durant because he wants to, or because you don't get pieces back that'll put your franchise in a place to be successful? And I think people forget that trade has to happen both ways.
Mhm.
And no offense, the teams he wanted, when it comes to like Boston, he wants Philly. Are they willing to trade for him? And it's funny. I think it's funny that Kevin Durant wants to be traded to Philly where Harden was. Harden just left you because you know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
So now I want to go back to Harden, and there's no way Philly
So
can afford Harden's contract and B's contract and Kevin. They'll have no bench.
right. So
So
and I agree with you, but to be fair, that seems like we don't know that Kevin Durant, like once it gets out that Kevin Durant wants to leave, then the internet does the jersey swaps and
no,
then your
no, well,
Instagram. Go
actually,
ahead.
that's not true. Like,
Okay.
actually, there's only two teams that he actually wants to go to. And that
That
came and this came
that
out. This
from
came
him,
out.
like because I haven't
Yeah,
heard
so
Kevin
from
Durant say
sources.
anything,
Well, not from of course, Fahim, you never hear
but
from the actual player. I'm just saying
right.
these are from like the score, like these are like credible sources.
Yeah,
All I'm saying, but at Fahim, don't forget, you rolled your eyes for Harden going to Brooklyn, and that happened.
I did.
So
Uh
okay,
huh.
so
Uh huh.
all I'm saying is that two
But
teams that he is okay to go to is Philly and the Suns. Sorry, Philly
allegedly,
and
apparently,
Boston.
but we don't know this. You know what I'm
I,
saying? Like,
I didn't say I know it. I'm just saying
uh,
what
uh,
I read.
okay.
Hence
And
why I
what?
quoted, hence why
Mm,
I said, as per reports. As per
right.
reports doesn't mean I'm saying that he said it. So just, you know what I'm saying?
No.
I'm saying, so therefore, as per reports, it
Mhm.
says that he wants to play
And that's why
Marcus
I'm rolling
Smart.
my eyes though, because a lot of reports, like I coming back to, there's a lot of information that's going on IG right now that people would jersey swap, and someone will think, "Hey, this makes a good fantasy." You throw it out there, and
I
then you
know,
have the
but it's
whole
okay.
internet. Go
That's
ahead.
fine, but that's
Go ahead.
part of
Go
the
ahead.
game for him. That's a part of off season. Like it's
Mm,
always gonna be rumors. What I'm saying,
mm,
you
mm,
take
mm,
what you take, you do whatever. All I'm saying is that him playing with Embiid. If I'm Kevin Durant, I want to go on a championship contender team, and those
mhm,
two teams, if he's added, are
mm.
contender teams. That's just what I'm saying. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It is
Yeah.
what it
And
is, right?
mhm,
So that's why he wanted to go to the Suns, Miami. Everyone wants to go to teams that are actually contend if he's on there. That's why
mhm,
what I'm saying is that I don't think it's false, but there has been reports of Boston wanting Kevin Durant. We've seen reports on that. We've seen reports on Phil. I don't know if Philly wants Kevin Durant, but nonetheless, none of those teams I think can trade for him at this point because
mhm.
what Brooklyn wants, they're not going to get.
Right.
Therefore, Kevin is not going anywhere. I don't
Mhm.
believe, like you said in rumors, even though these are preferences, I still don't think Kevin Durant's going to be traded. I think he'll be
I
here
I agree.
another whole year,
I,
another full year. And guess best believe for him, if Kevin Durant stays a whole year and they make it a push deep into the playoffs, his ass will stay right there in Brooklyn. He ain't going nowhere.
100%.
So then the
100%.
day when you're losing, you're miserable. When you're
Mhm,
winning, you're happy. So
mhm,
I just think it's just an emotional
mhm,
moment. He's just not happy with Steve Nash and what happened. But Kevin
mhm,
Durant, we watched the playoffs. You can't
mhm,
blame coaching for all of that.
mhm,
Boston was just better than you guys. Like you can't blame coaching for everything, sir. Boston was a better
mhm.
team. I'm
That's
sorry.
that might be a topic for another day because I
Boston was a better team,
no no
not
no no
better
no
players. Yeah,
no no. And when you said you can't blame coaching,
for everything you can. The coaching,
you can't.
coaching,
Yeah,
No, you can't blame Coach Fahim. Fahim, a 7 game series. You're gonna blame coaching for the
No, I'm
entire
not. I'm not
series?
blaming coaching, but what I am saying is, and that's what I'm saying. It might turn into. We might evolve this into a topic for another day. But uh, so KD was an advocate for Steve Nash to start, right? So that's part of the absurdity, also, that this is somebody that you made a push to get Steve Nash to coach
Facts.
when, as part of you going to Brooklyn, and now here you are 2 years later, from a multitude of reasons why you didn't be able to get into playoffs deep, and now you're calling for him to be uh, fired
Fired.
or taken out. I things happen. I don't like the process behind this, but I will say this though, and that's what I'm saying. I'll end with this. Steve Nash, um, great player, Hall of Famer, represents Canada. Like I said, I'm just going to lay it on thick in regards to the respect I have for Steve Nash.
Oh Lord, here he comes, guys.
But um, he got into a situation that he hadn't had any previous coaching experience. So
I agree.
he
Hmm.
inherited a great situation.
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
And he's inherited a great situation for 2 years of under productivity. Um, Now, like we gave the example of LeBron and the Lakers and Brooklyn and KD, I'm going to throw one with the coaching. Darvin Ham, if Darvin Ham with LeBron James goes 2 years of doing what Frank Vogel does, he's not going to have 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I think that black coaching, that's not actually, there's a stat that says that black coaches, those that white coaches last on average 2.6 seasons, and black coaches last, I think, is 1.4, so half.
Yeah, yeah.
So Steve Nash, being a white coach with a pedigree, he's been afforded a situation that a lot of black coaches don't have. So with KD, wanting him originally and now wanting to get rid of him, if I had my choice between the two, and unless I'm going to land with this question, if I had to choose and I'm the owner and I'm going with KD or Steve Nash, I'm saying thank you very much, Steve. And maybe I'll try and help you get a job elsewhere, but I'm sticking with KD. How about you, Nelly
Well,
J?
that's all cute and all. Like at the end of the day, it's not even about coaching. It's about putting a stance because we saw LeBron want to get rid of my man in Miami, and Pat Riley said, "Bye, LeBron." You know what I'm saying? At the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, like you just have to make. At the end of the day, you can't have players bully you as a business owner, and you can't have coaches bully you either. You have to make what's best for the team. So at the end of the day, like I get what you're saying, but my comment wasn't about that. I do think, of course, Kevin Durant, to me personally, I agree with what you said. Steve Nash gone to a good situation, whatever. But we all agree that when he was hired, I thought it was a bad idea. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
We
a
all
bad
did,
decision.
right?
Period. Right.
Right.
However, Kevin Durant was okay with it. So Kevin
Mm-hmm.
Durant, if we weren't okay with it from day one, I would have said, you know what? If Kevin Durant said from day one, you know what? I don't think it's a really good hire. This is
Right.
his first time. I'll respect him now. Kevin Durant, you wanted him to be there. So
Mm-hmm.
now you're so that's my number one issue. Number two issue is that when it comes to Steve Nash, we both agreed when we had, what guess we had on here, we were grading coaches in the playoffs. And we
Mm-hmm.
all agreed at the time, me, you, I don't know if it was Coach Lee, I forgot who was with us.
I can't remember, but
We all agreed that Steve Nash deserves one more year with a healthy roster,
right.
a healthy team to
Mm-hmm.
assess it. Because to be honest, I've not seen a healthy Brooklyn Nets team since Kevin Durant's been there. I haven't
Right.
seen it.
Of course.
So for me to yes, he's not the best coach, but I can't grade him fairly because his team has been terribly injured. It's not even like you're missing one guy. You're missing like Joe Ingles was out. Then
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, I mean, Harden had one leg.
Of
Kyrie didn't
course.
play for a whole season.
Mm-hmm.
I can't put this all on Steve Nash. That's all I'm
No,
trying
no,
to
no.
say.
I'm not
At
putting
this
it
point,
all, but
at this point, you knew who you were hiring, so you knew what you were going to get. I can't blame Steve Nash for what he lacks. That is
mm-hmm.
not his fault. What I
Mm-hmm.
can say is, though, is that at the end of the day, when you watch that Boston series, Kevin Durant was doing things that he shouldn't be doing. Kyrie, that team was up for a lot of those games for him, and they lost in the last because they weren't closing up. You know why? Because the closeout games for him, you need to be familiar with their teammates and be comfortable in close games. And you can tell Brooklyn Nets were out of sync in those close games against Boston. Whereas Boston, they played together all year long. They
Mm-hmm.
had a system, they had a culture. Their coach was a lot like it's just at the end of the day, better teams win. Better teams just win. So to me, I just think that Brooklyn needs some synergy. They need some type of time together, and I think they'll figure it out. I don't know why they're panicking. I just think it's so weird. We've seen a lot of great players being get swept and come back and tear it up. We've seen LeBron get swept. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So getting swept shouldn't cause a panic, but for some reason, I think they're panicking.
So you're the GM of Brooklyn, Nelly J. You get the text. Actually, better, you get the call from KD saying, you know what, it's either Sean Marks and Steve Nash or me. What are you doing?
I'm a billionaire. You're a millionaire. You play for me. You work for
So
me.
what
I
what
again,
decision are you making?
exactly. You're staying here. You're not going. You're staying right here. You're
So he
staying.
okay. Oh, so you're not doing anything. So you're
No, I'm not doing anything. Bro,
okay.
I don't care. Listen, Kevin
Okay.
Durant, you can't listen. You can't
Okay.
listen. Hey, sir, this is my business. You understand?
Uh,
I
uh,
will take in your request. I
uh,
hear you, Kevin Durant. I understand. But at the end of
uh,
the day, we're gonna do what's best for my business, not what's
mhm.
best for you. Now, if I can get someone, Kevin Durant, that is a high caliber player and that can help and maintain our status, no problem. But KD, I'm sorry, you're not my priority.
Okay.
You're not.
So let me land this on this question, and it's a variation. What do you think is in the best interest of the Brooklyn Nets? To keep KD or let go of
No,
Steve Nash? What's the
I'm
best?
If I'm Brooklyn Nets, if at the end of the day, I will send out trade offers, but I'm not going to
Mhm.
be begging, right? You don't want to be
Right?
that GM who sorry, you don't want to be that GM who looks stupid, Fahim.
Hmm.
You do a dumb trade for nothing. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because that's your career. Remember, after KD's gone, you still have a name, you still have a brand, right? So at the end of the day, if I'm Sean Mark, hey KD, bro, I'm gonna work to my best, but understand that what you gave us last year isn't enough for me to work with, bro. I'm sorry, it's not
Okay, I got to I
no,
got to.
but no, but I'm saying because if it was Kevin Durant, teams would have given me would have accepted my trade offer, right? Because again, teams and it's so funny. Reports again came out that teams don't want to trade their future for Kevin Durant. That's the challenge. So that
Okay.
means Kevin Durant hoop on the court, remind everyone who the f you are because you're still a top player in the NBA. Then I can trade you easily because now people know that you're the man. But you got swept in the playoffs, bro. What can I do with that? What
All
can
right,
I do?
Nelly J, what's more valuable, keeping KD or Steve Nash? That's all I want to know. What's more valuable if
No,
you have to
Fahim,
between the two?
it's not like that, Fahim. You can't because it has to be a
Why not?
trade. Because it has to be a
No, no, no,
trade.
no. I'm asking if you have an option. Like let me make it
No,
easy. Watch, watch, watch.
that's
Hold
not
on. Watch this.
a
Watch. Ready, ready,
realistic
ready. If
option. You're
I
not making
well, if I have a choice between keeping KD and getting rid of Steve Nash and Sean Marks, I think KD is more valuable to me. And I think Sean Marks and Steve Nash are
no.
not as valuable. So you
I
think the
wouldn't
other
do
way?
that. Wanna know why?
Okay,
Because as a business, that
okay,
means
that's
don't know
cool.
why? Because GMs and coaches aren't going to want to come. They're going to be afraid that if that means as an owner, players run your business. And if I'm a coach, I don't want to go for to a team where this player is dictating me. Remember,
Mm,
as a coach, Fahim, as a coach, you have to have the control and the respect of your players. If
okay,
it's the
yeah.
other way around, you can't. It's hard to coach a team when everyone knows. Oh, why listen to you? Because Kevin Durant. No, you can't. It has to be a hierarchy for him. So at the end of the day, it's not even about Steve Nash or versus Kevin Durant. My thing is that as an owner, you got to stick behind the guys you hire. It's a
Mm.
business first, right? And Kevin Durant is still an employee. He has no power over. He was an. Remember, I'm an owner. It's different for me. So
Okay.
Kevin Durant, I'm gonna help. I'm a bro. I hear your concerns.
No,
I'm gonna try and help
so
you.
let's take the owner out of it though. I think that if you're looking to win a championship, keeping Kevin Durant is going to
They're not gonna
be
win
a
with
better
Kevin Durant on
chance.
the court, though. They're not gonna win with Kevin
I
Durant on the
think
court.
having Kevin Durant on my team puts me in a better position to get to a championship than not having Kevin Durant
Of
and having
course,
Sean
yeah.
Marks and
Oh
Steve Nash
yeah, but that's
run my
different.
squad.
But no,
Go
but
ahead.
Fahim, I get that point. But at the end of the day, I'm not. I'm just not going to. If I'm again, I get what you're saying. I mean, I think everyone that's like a question to everyone. I think any players are more valuable when it comes to winning a championship. We all know this, right?
Well,
The
not
talent
all
on
players. I say in this particular.
no. I'm
Yeah.
saying
Okay.
no.
Good.
I'm saying that
Okay.
talent on the court
Mhm.
supersedes coaching. If you have
Okay.
the best talent, of course, I'm
All
not
right.
denying that. What I'm
Okay.
saying in the situation, I'm saying as an owner, you guys set precedent for your team and for your players. If you let players push you around and bully you, that will start a new ripple effect. right? That's what I'm saying is that as an owner, you got to put your foot down. You can't let a player like give you ultimatums in the media. You can't do that, right? We saw
Mhm.
Ben Simmons bully his way out of Philadelphia. We saw no, you have to, at one point, you have to, you know what? Kevin Durant, I respect you. You're a great talent. We love you here. And we know you're not happy here. So we're going to do our best. But guess what? A trade takes two teams to trade, right?
Mhm.
So we can only do what we can. But if other teams, Faheem, are not trying to get you, that's the problem. Listen. I don't hear teams begging for Kevin Durant. Why is that? Like that's the thing. Like why is that? Why is that, Faheem? Teams are not begging for him. They're not willing to give up their future for him.
Topic for another day.
No, no, I'm just saying. Because remember, we
Uh,
spoke about this a couple episodes ago, and we talked about how we wouldn't trade Scotty Barnes for Kevin Durant. Why? Why not? It's Kevin Durant. He's
uh,
so great.
right.
You know what I'm
No,
saying? So
I would, yeah, I wouldn't trade Scotty Barnes for Kevin Durant. No, I
and
wouldn't.
that's what I'm saying is that what the issue is that like a lot of teams are in the same boat as us, Fahim. We respect Kevin Durant, amazing talent, amazing player. We're not denying that. But
But
teams are not willing to trade for him. And my question is why? And I'm
well,
telling what I'm saying is that all these ultimatum stuff, a lot of front offices don't want that drama in a franchise. They don't want it. So I just think that what he did was just a bad play. To me, he could have said, "Yo, bro, Sean Marks and Steve Nash, we don't get along. I'll try to make it work. However, I still want to be traded." That's how you
yeah.
go about it. You don't say, "Actually, I'll stay, but if you get rid of those guys." I think that's just
Mhm.
really tacky. Just go, Cameron. Just leave. Don't
Uh,
don't try to circle back on it. I don't like
uh,
that.
All right, and for context, I'll be honest. I don't think there's any because as I said, I wouldn't do it. I was just quickly thinking. I don't think there's any player I would trade for Scotty Barnes. And I mean, literally,
And
I think if I heard LeBron James was thinking about Toronto for Scotty Barnes, I might I'm yes that maybe, but I mean like it's not a shoe
you're
in. Scotty, I'm go ahead,
you're
go ahead.
20, Scott. You said you're 20 LeBron. You say maybe, but you're 20 LeBron.
I mean, I'd entertain it, but I still, like
Mr.
I said,
LeBron
I don't think
sexual.
there's any, there's no player I can think like not Steph, not LeBron, not Scotty Barnes is off limits.
Well,
It's
that's
not
how
worth.
you feel about Scotty Barnes as a Raptor fan. So
Mm,
imagine every other fan base. Some
mm,
fan base are saying, "I'm not trading Jason Tatum for Kevin Durant." They're
right,
saying, "I'm not trading Chris Paul. I'm not trading Devin
right,
Booker for Kevin Durant. I'm not trading Jimmy Butler." So
right.
that's the issue. Because guess what, Fahim? When I saw when Kawhi was available, I said, "Send over Demaya, send him over," and
Right.
I was okay with that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
my thing is that for some reason, and again, I get it. That's the same example, but I'm saying that with Demar and Kawhi, that didn't bother me. I missed Demar because I love him.
Mm,
He's a great player, but I was okay with that trade. My thing
mm,
is that for some reason, a lot of fan bases are like they want Kevin, but not for their top player. But Kevin is Brooklyn's top player. You know what I'm saying? It's like you kind of have to be balanced. That's all I'm trying to
mm,
say.
mm.
So that's why I'm saying Sean Marks is saying, cool, give me a second best player, guys, and but give me two or three first round picks. And teams are saying no, Fahim. They're saying no.
Okay.
So Kevin, honestly, Durant, listen, bro. I just think Kevin, if you ever decide to look to the Good Rookie Show, listen, bro, your talent is unmatched. Great talent.
Mm,
I just think the world needs to see you try this with Kyrie and Ben Simmons.
mm,
I think as fans we deserve it, and I think you guys will play really well together. Yes, there's some issues there, but I think your talent of three of you guys can figure it out. But
mm.
you have to decide as a team to make this work for at least 1 year. 1 year, man. Come on, man.
Right.
Let's figure
Right.
this out, y'all.
I agree. All right, Nelly J. You know what? Let's put this episode in the books.
Y'all, that was a good rookie show.
Yep. Yep.
So, y'all, I know the last absurd was a lot of absurd. But sometimes you just have to go on with the things. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I'm just so happy for him. We covered a lot of great topics today, and as we wind this out, as guys know, we all would like to end with a chance to do shout out. And so, I would say this for him. My shout out this week, I would say, I'm trying to think. I have a few shout outs. A lot has happened, so I'm trying to kind of gather my thoughts as to which one. But
While
if you
you're
have one,
gathering your
go ahead.
thoughts, yeah, I
Go
got
go go
one.
ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I want to shout out first of all, rest in peace. Bill Russell.
Yes.
And I don't want to extend this too far, but I want to shout out Bill Russell. And also I want to shout out the NBA and what they've just announced. They're going to retire the number six that Bill Russell wore league wide to honor him. So shout out to the NBA with that. And shout out to Bill Russell, a legacy. Um, can't be matched, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's true. It's true. So I guess I'm just gonna shout out because Boas was a good one, and I want to say rest in peace, condolences. I actually had a chance to listen to his daughter speak about him and what she experienced on Clubhouse. Big up to Clubhouse because you always go into his rooms with him, and you're like, what? This is Bill Russell's daughter. And this happened, of course, before he passed away. So, she's a real advocate of her father, and it was cool to hear stories from what he went through as an
Mm-hmm. Of
athlete. And remember, he was going through a lot of racist fans back in the day as
course.
well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really cool to kind of like see that. But I'll do a quick shout out. I definitely want to shout out Bianca Andreescu and Layla. They're both Fernandez. They're both playing, of course, in the National Bank Open, which is the Canadian tournament right now happening for tennis.
Mm-hmm.
And they both advanced the second round. So let's see
Mm-hmm.
what happens. I've also been following Felix Elysium. How do I say his last name for him? But
You got it.
FAA.
Well, you
Okay.
got the Felix part. Okay,
Okay.
so
Felix
it's Felix OJ Aliassime.
OJ Elysium. Okay. So I've been following him. He actually advanced to the top 16 or round of 16. So good for him. So yeah, just big up to all the Canadian athletes playing right now in Quebec and in Toronto for the Grand at the Grand Slam. So big up to them.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's not a
It's
grand
not really a
slam,
Grand Slam, yeah.
but
It's because
but
the
I know.
ATP tournament.
Yeah, right.
It's so funny because the Grand Slams.
WTA. Yeah,
Wait.
yeah,
Well, there's two, right? Because the men's and then there's the
yeah.
women's,
That's
but
the yeah
it's just like an
ATP's men, right?
ATP. It's an ATP event. Yeah, yeah. So
WTA. Okay.
yeah,
So Nelly J, let's put this episode in the books.
y'all. Thank you so much. If you had a good time, you enjoyed yourself in the Good Rookie Show, like, subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Shout out to Cash Card. Faheem.
Yeah, we're on all platforms. You're looking for us. Um, that's Good Rookie Show. Thanks for joining us. And we out.
Peace.
Peace.